Welcome to the Friday Bubble. Today we're tasting Lanson Le Rosé, and actually Creation 67. What is Creation 67, I hear you all say? And it just refers to the number of times that Lanson have made a rosé blend, starting the very first time in 1952. So the 67th rosé. Essi, we tasted this actually at the winery 3 or 4 months ago in March, didn't we?
Yes, absolutely.
It's also true that I think Hervé, who's the winemaker there, has done a little bit of re-engineering with the wine. We're going to taste the two side by side, the bottle and the Magnum, which I think is rather fascinating.
Yeah, this is quite interesting because we normally, most houses would keep the wine in Magnum for 1 extra year on the lease because it evolves slower. So, but here we get to really compare them side by side when they're both very young.
And these were disgorged in November 23. And the one thing I forgot to tell you is they were from the dominant year of 2019. Essi, 2019 as a year is looking like it might be quite good.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the year's profile a lot. So it had a lot of sunshine, a lot of ripeness, but the wines also have beautiful acidity. So I really am a big fan of. They're really refined, and you get this feeling of precision typically. And
I love a surprise.
And here, so obviously it's quite a broad blend across the region, and as Lanson is in question, it's a very Pinot Noir dominant as a whole. But what's also interesting are the coloring components. Where do the red wine come from? And here it's quite interesting that 1/3 of it is Pinot Noir from Bouzy, so a great south-facing village in the Marne area, and then you also have the legendary red wine village of Le Rosé from the Aube. But then curiously, they also use 1/3 of Meunier red wines for this blend. The total amount being around 6 to 7%, which gives it this sort of medium deep salmon hue.
And it's fascinating, I think. So that's your bottle, Essi, that's the Magnum. I think there's a colour difference, isn't there?
Yeah, the colour on the bottle looks a little bit darker, doesn't it?
Yeah. So often we talk about Magnum effect. So I think what I'm really hoping, while Essi's having a little preview, is there is some Magnum effect. Because when you've got twice the volume for the same headspace, then you usually get this. Essi's just melted, I think. You usually get this rather beautiful aromatic. We describe it often as a little bit of gunflint, a little bit of, I call it smoky charm. Did you find any?
Yes, there's definitely a smoky charm. It's like there's extra finesse to it. You know, the bottles are always more obviously fruity and sort of upfront in character, and there's beautiful restraint in the Magnums you find.
We haven't done this for a while, I remember. The Magnum effect in its full glory, Essi. Give us a quick 60-second.
Well, I think you gave quite a, explained it quite well. So it's really all about the oxygen ingress. So in addition to the headspace, it's really more about the diameter of the neck. So how much of gas exchange can take place through the cork. And in the bottle and the Magnum, it's a similar size of neck typically. But there is much more volume inside the Magnum, double the volume, so therefore the aging is totally different. And for champagnes doing the second fermentation in bottle, there's also an impact in what type of pace the second fermentation happens inside the bottles, so they're not actually the same wine anymore.
Right.
I always find that the bubbles are also more finer in the Magnums, but let's see, I haven't tasted yet, so.
So these were disgorged November, as I mentioned. It's all 2019. 30% of it is reserve wines, but nothing very old. So just the few previous vintages of 18, 17 and 16, I believe.
Yes, definitely. And there's super delicious fruit on both of them. I think a bit of sweeter expression on the bottle. Whereas a bit more cooler, crunchier feel to the Magnum. On the palate, both delight me with that freshness. The fruitiness is quite ripe in profile, sweet, lots of strawberry fruit especially. But then on the palate, it's really there because there is a lot of non-malolactic wine in these blends. So it's really, the acidity is super refreshing.
There's something like pink grapefruit, and there's some really lovely fruits in this. And the one thing that stood out when we were at the winery was just how aromatic it was. We've made a bit of a schoolboy error here. Ours are a bit cold today, but they wanted they could do with a little bit more space. But considering we've overchilled them, they're giving off a lot of aromatics still.
Yeah, but really nice. I really like the feeling of precision on the Magnum. It's very pretty, very almost lacy and a bit airy even on the palate. So.
And I think the texture in the Magnum to me is, I often use this phrase about it wraps around a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think you've got a bit more of that rather soft, gentle texture in that Magnum. Rather beautiful. Bundles of fruit coming out. I'd love to leave this for 10 minutes, but we'll lose you all if we do that. The obvious question, Essi, we usually choose one for lunch. Today we're just going to have a little bit of charcuterie and some baguette.
I think probably the bottle is the better choice for the charcuterie, but I'm still going to go for the Magnum
because it does have a little bit more precision. Yeah. I'm really pleased that they've shown so differently.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Very good.
To lunch.
Cheers.
Thank you. I hope you all get a chance to try these wines. I think now you're able to identify all the information from the back. The 67th creation. It's a little bit more informative. So enjoy a drink. It's Friday.